Mikhail Lennikov. He is a former KGB agent, of course, who has now defied a deportation order. He was supposed to be, as we speak, on a plane flying back to Russia, but is now taking sanctuary at the First Lutheran Church in Vancouver. And in fact, he joins me from that church. Mr. Lennikov, thank you for being with me this morning.
Good morning, Heather.
Good morning. You've spent your first night in sanctuary. How are you this morning?
Tired.
Not much sleep, I bet.
No, not much.
Are you alone, Mr. Lennikov? Your family's not in the church with you?
No, my family is not in the church.
Okay, they're at home. I'm wondering,
yes.
The plan to take refuge in this church, is this something that was a last-minute decision, or had this been planned for some time as a last resort for you?
I would say that it was something that we discussed with the pastor and the council of the church when the deportation of the whole family seemed to be imminent, and to the family and to the church, it seemed logical that the only way to keep family in Canada would take this desperate measure and go for sanctuary for the whole family. And I'm really happy that Irina and Mitya are no longer under threat of deportation and they can stay in Canada. And we're really hopeful that the immigration process will be finalized and they will be officially allowed to stay in Canada as permanent residents. But when decision on Monday was made against me and I was denied stay of deportation, we just thought that it would be absolutely not even logical, I think just desperate measure to ask for the sanctuary, ask the church to grant the sanctuary for myself.
And here we are, because as I mentioned, as we speak, really, based on the rules, based on the order of the court, you should be on a plane heading back to Russia right this very moment. Can you conceive of that, sir?
Well, to be honest with you, it's last night I couldn't sleep, and I looked at the watch, and yes, it was 3 a.m. That's the time that I was supposed to be in the airport. But to be honest with you, to me, to leave my family, give up, and knowing that more likely than that I won't be able to see my family again, it was unthinkable. So I think it's, even though indeed it's a desperate act on my part, but it's understandable because I want to be with my family as long as I can, and maybe we can find some way out, some solution.
Well, let's talk about the options, because the federal court, that was what you were referring to on Monday, it said no, that you should be deported. And although there's a lot of support for you from opposition MPs, the public safety minister, Peter Van Loan, has been adamant that you are a security threat because of your past as a former officer with the KGB, a security threat to this country, and he wants to protect the integrity of the immigration system and the law. What is wrong with that?
Well, you're asking, honestly, you're asking not an easy question, because we've been doing our submissions, we've been doing our different applications, trying to prove that based on the facts, I do not pose any threat to Canada, do not pose any threat to Canadian national interests. In the decision that say otherwise, there's no factual kind of a substance. What exact Canadian national interests I'm posing a threat to? So again, it's not an easy question. I probably don't have an answer at this moment.
He seems adamant that you must go, but I know, as I said, you have a lot of opposition support. Are there other options for you, even though the courts have said, or you've run out of legal options? Are there other avenues somewhere?
Well, I understand that the decision on my application for permanent residence on humanitarian and compassionate grounds also can be appealed. And the issue is, if I'm gone from Canada and again won't be able to come back, there will be no sense to file this appeal. So it gives me and our council extra time to work on the remaining legal options.
In terms of time, people who have been in a situation similar to yours have stayed in church sanctuary for months and sometimes years. How long are you prepared to stay in that place, Mr. Lenikoff?
As long as we as a family can come up with some solution, find some way to stay together, and preferably in Canada, and if not, then maybe trying to arrange something in the third country.
In a third country?
I don't know, because what I'm saying is just just thinking at this moment. But like I said, we would like to stay as a family in Canada.
Okay.
Together.
We'll be following this and we'll be in touch. Mr. Lenikoff, thank you very much for the time this morning.
Thank you, Heather.